Morning everybody, Gavin, Jonquil here in Atlanta. Doing a little different job today. We don't do very often, but service we do provide. Today is Tuesday, the 1st May. So hopefully y'all are doing good. Season's just starting to kick in. It's been kicking in here for like the last 3.5 weeks, and I know people up north, Midwest, all that stuff, hopefully it's starting to kick up for you guys too. But here in the south, now's the time we're starting to aerate, getting calls for dethatching, and that's what we're doing today. So a little background on this little house. A neighbor of mine, a great couple, lives here. I had installed Emerald Zoysia, about 1,500 square feet, about 4 years ago. So it's about time definitely for a good dethatching, and that's what we're doing. So I want to take you guys along and see how it goes. So check out what we're doing. All right, so we just finished making actually our second pass on this yard. Like I said, Emerald Zoysia, this little square up here, a little bit on that side of that car, and there's a little bit just up here. So dethatcher, do not own one. I own an aerator because I do far more aeration than I do dethatching. As you can see, tool rental, Home Depot carries these. Any other tool rental, this is pretty common that they carry. This thing, 4 hours, $60 plus tax. You know, I don't plan on owning one for the price that they are, but you can rent these again, $60 plus tax for a couple hours. Daily rate's probably going to be closer to 75, but that's what we got. This is the only yard we got to do. So my man Frankie's over here doing raking everything up, putting it in bags, putting here on the curb for pickup for tomorrow. So for those who do not know, again, Emerald Zoysia is a very fine blade zoysia, and what happens is if you leave it too long or cut it too high or not enough frequent cuts, what happens is the grass will lay down. Let's see if I can get real close here. So what will happen is the grass, right, will lay down on itself, and what happens is where it lays down on, all the grass underneath here, and once this lays on it, gets choked out. So it only grows from this patch here versus what's behind it. And what this dethatcher is doing is going in with these fingers, and it's basically just clawing its way and pulling up all of this thatch, which is basically all the clippings and everything else that's inside. Okay, so we've gone over this twice already, 2 different directions. We are going to go over it one more time, but you can see all of the clippings we have and what's here. Now it's going to look brown, it's going to look nasty, right? And again, you can tell when a yard needs to be dethatched just by looking at it. If everything is laying over on itself, or you could just go in and just get your hands and just rake it like this, okay, you'll see all the stuff that comes up. All right, so what this dethatcher is doing, it's got all these teeth underneath it. And it just, as it rotates, it'll just score the earth just slightly to get all of this thatch out. And that's the goal. We're trying to get all of this stuff out. So all this brown stuff, it's not growing. It's dead grass. You got to get rid of it. Zoysia is a little different than Bermuda here in the south. Bermuda, you definitely want to scalp. Zoysia, not really. You just need to make sure you cut it at the right height, not at very high increments. Bag if you can. If you're using chemical, that speeds up the process. But all zoysia eventually is going to need dethatched. Just a matter of how often. So again, you could see as we've torn all this up how brown it is, and then over here you can see how nice and green and rich it is. We haven't touched that yet. So we've got a few more things to go, but I'll show you the machine here in a little bit. I'm going to make one more pass, and we'll see how this thing turns out. All right, so we're making our last pass. I got Frankie on the machine. He's lining it up. Made a couple passes already. A lot less thatch is coming up behind it. But again, I installed this zoysia about 4 years ago, and this is the first time it's ever been done. It's definitely due to get done, so we're making multiple passes. Again, it's not a real big square foot area, so I'm not too worried about overworking myself here, but you'll see that fat come back out of there. See if I can zoom in. All that fat coming off the back of the machine. Pulling it right up, working on the water meter best we can. And that's it. So we're gonna keep pressing along here, see how she does. All right, huh? Look at that truck coming through. Oh, that truck's going. It's a little tight up in here. You gonna make it? What do you think? Oh boy, it's tight. Oh, curb. All over the curb. All right, so we've got 4 bags of clippings. Working on our 5th now. All right, look at all this. All this thatch. Okay, we got to get this stuff out of the yard. Keep it healthy. All this stuff's what's down in there. All right, so we went over it 3 times. And you can see how shaggy and puffy it is, because that's all some of the grass that was laid down and some of it's standing up. That's the difference. But let me see if I can get on top of something here. You can see we got right down to dirt. I got right down in there. There's nothing left. It's all just, there's nothing. It's just the stems. So it'll regrow from these stems again. Again, they were all choked up. Get them dethatched, cleaned out, but we're all the way down to soil, right? I was able to do that 3 times with the machine, right? 3 different ways. Came through with a blower, our Echo 770 nozzle straight in the bottom. And what Frankie's working on over here is basically everything I blew out of the front. And this is going to be all your fine stuff. This is going to be all your grass clippings. Okay. I don't know if you could tell from here, but dude, it's all little stuff. It's all the stuff that was entwined in the bottom. Hey, look at that, down to just dirt right in there. So we're gonna come back here in the next 2 weeks or so. We're gonna aerate, punch this real good, and then I'm just gonna recommend to the homeowner, again, this is not a yard I take care of. Okay, I wouldn't cut it this high, and it would need to be cut more frequent than what it is. Plus these edges, look at these edges. Ugh. Tighten those up. So not my yard I service maintenance. We installed the sod. It turned out great. Again, this is the first time we thatched. It's gonna turn out great. She should be happy, and go from there. So before I leave, I will get a picture of the machine and I can show you how that thing works. All right, so we're all finished, cleaned up, looks good. I'm happy with it. Like I said, she'll have to cut it pretty short and make sure she bags it and just stay on top of it, because it was a lot. We got a total of 5 bags full. Okay, those things are chock full. So let me show you the machine. It's a Klassen dethatcher. Looks like it's a TR20. Again, it's what you rent. It's got a Honda on it, a Honda GX 160. This is what they look like underneath. See all those teeth? All those teeth spin, and that, those are like fingers, right? They go on the ground, they just grab it, and as they're rotating, they're just pulling it up and pulling it up and pulling it up and pulling it up. So those are whipping around. They're nice because if you end up hitting something, like I said, they move, right? So it's just the momentum of them being thrown and picking up just like fingers. So couple $1,000 machine. I don't plan on buying one. I don't do enough dethatching. I don't offer it, I mean, offer it as a service, but I don't push it. So that's all we got. So till next time, y'all be good. Enjoy. Any questions, dethatch, and let me know. Hit me up. Subscribe, comment below. See ya.